The following is a presentation of WON Sports.
You're listening to XFL Now on the Alternative Football News Network and WON Sports. Nick Anthony, Kevin Drake, and Michael Washington Weeks. XFL Now.
We're here. We're here. We made it. We have survived. It's been a week here at the Alternative Football News Network, XFL Now. It's been a very interesting week. Got to tell you. For me, it was Tuesday. It all began. Got a call after work Tuesday night. It was my father. And he asked me not to park in the driveway. Like, why the hell can't I park in the driveway, Dad? You know, because they're going to come take your mom to the hospital. Well, what? You know. Well, my mother was taken out of here by, 1, 2, 3 ambulances with pneumonia. So everybody out there listening, be very, very careful this year. My mom is 73 years old, and it was not a good deal. We were kind of worried. She made it home today. Luckily, she made it home today. Very happy about that. A lot of things going on. There's something going around, not football really, but people got this viral infection. I know this happens this time of year. I live in the northeastern United States, so up here, it's a typical thing. Late September, early October, people get these upper respiratory infections because of the change in the climate. It happens in the spring also, conversely, because, well, we go from having temperatures in the 90s to the 60s. So, and this happens over the course of a few weeks. Your body really doesn't get enough time to adjust. So be very careful when you're out there this year, that you're, bundle up in the wintertime. Avoid people with sniffles and sneezing. If you got a friend who's hacking in the coffin, maybe they should go get some antibiotics and see if they don't have that infection going on in their bodies. Anyhow, let's talk about some football. Not just any football, though. XFL football here on XFL Now. Tonight we're going to do something a little bit different because I'm here tonight with AFNN personality and the author of Ciancio Speaks Sports, R.J. Ciancio. And I've been wanting to do this. The other guys have some personal things they have to take care of tonight. Work for some. Others have some beta testing that they are doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit here and we're going to go through the possible, the rule changes that have occurred within the new structure of the XFL. And what I want to do with RJ, because RJ is very proficient in rules in football, arena leagues, indoor leagues, and other leagues. And we're going to sit here and we're going to discuss this for a little while with you folks tonight. RJ, how you doing up there you're in where, Connecticut?
Yeah, the glorified buffer state of America.
Buffer state?
Yeah, it's a buffer state between New York and Massachusetts. No one says, "Oh boy, I'm going to Connecticut." If you hear anybody say that, they're lying.
Or they're just absolutely insane.
One or the other.
So, RJ, we all know the XFL is... The big thing is it's going to be setting itself apart from other football organizations, mainly the NFL. There are some rule changes that they've been making, and I think the biggest one, and I think this is one that has most fans excited, and that's the forward laterals.
I'm definitely excited about this one myself, and I'll get into that in a bit, but I really like this as a concept.
You know, we have the forward lateral rule, And we were over there at the XFL board, which is like the best place to go for XFL news and commentary and stuff. If you want to, read something, got nothing else to do, go to xflboard.com. Always something great going up over there. We have the lateral is the big deal. I think that's going to be the biggest game-changing thing that could have happened, that will happen. But there's other changes that are going to occur here. We have some changes in the way special teams work. We have changes in the PATs. We have changes going into overtime. No ties.
Thank goodness.
No ties. No ties. No ties. You got to have a winner. It's football, damn it. It's football. Even if you do a hustle for the ball to determine who wins the game, it's football. Give them a point. And there will be some changes in the way the game is timed. And I think the timing issues of this are going to be very important in how we perceive the game. It's if you watch college football, fans, if you watch college football, the clock, it works differently. In college football games, for me, they seem to roll a lot smoother than the major league. If you know what I'm talking about, the NFL, the clock seems to roll a lot smoother. I think clock changes are going to be a big difference here, and the timing of the game and the for downs and possession of the ball before snap and things like that. They've already got the ball. They have a design for their football, which looks kind of cool to me. I like it. I like it
too. I gotta say, I got a soft spot for the original red and black design, but they're distancing themselves from that 2001 league, so you know what? I dig this. It's conventional enough, but it's got a bit of a flair to it, so I like it.
I like the if you see the pictures that are out there, I like you can tell it's a pigskin. It's not that smooth leather that the NFL uses. It's got a rougher look to the ball, and I like that. It's more like football. It's like the ball you have in your home. You know what I mean? The one you go play in the backyard. It looks worn. It looks like it's been played with for a while, I guess. And it's more of a natural shade of brown than the NFL dark, deep, rich brown.
It looks like instead of buying like a luxury car, instead of like luxury car upholstery, it looks like something you'd find your everyman car.
Yep. And I think that'll make a difference. The ball, the look of the ball. I like the X at the back on either end. That really is cool. Because, look, we know they're going to probably have sky cam. Can you imagine that ball going downfield and them honing in as that X spirals? That's going to be pretty cool.
It is going to be cool because what I liked about the AAF ball is that it had the stripe on the end to kind of highlight this is the nose of the ball, and when it's in the spiral, you can tell if it's a good spiral, whether if it's a complete blur, if it's like seeming to go a bit off center. I think that's going to be fun for us, the fans, to see as quarterbacks throw the ball and possibly other positions with this forward lateral rule.
Now, let's get into this. Let's talk about the kickoffs. There's only going to be 5 yards between the teams. However, they have to allow the opposing team to actually, the receiver to catch the ball. They're not allowed to rush them.
I like that because, the first thing I thought of is, well, if it's only 5 yards, that gives them more time to shed the block. They're using the halo rule, which you find in NCAA ball, you find it in Canadian ball. It's a 5-yard radius where the receiver has room to return and has a little area until they start moving. So I think that's going to be good for the league because if you get a return man like Josh Cribbs, Devin Hester, Dante Hall, anybody like that who's that dynamic on the field, there is very few things in this universe that are more entertaining to watch than that.
There's a lot more things entertaining in this universe to watch than that.
Clearly you didn't watch the highlights I watched.
Probably not. I've been busy. I think that's interesting, and I also think that it's very important that neither team is allowed to cross the neutral zone. Neither team. It's not one team. It's both teams are held off in the you can't cross that neutral zone. On top of that, excuse me. On top of that, we have the fact that, well, there's no fair catches.
Yes.
You got to run the ball back. And the kicking team has to allow that 5-yard barrier, that zone, for that receiver to recover that ball. That's going to make it very, very interesting, because until he crosses that 5-yard mark, you see what I'm saying? And once you hit that 5-yard mark, you are in for some pain in the grass. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever play capture the flag, you know the teacher would set the hula hoop up to go grab the flag, and you're like waiting in there looking for somebody to looking for a crease. Picture that, but 100 times faster for these guys. That's how I think of it. And I would always get 5 steps and then just get demolished. But
it's going to be a game of smear the queer. I'm sorry for listeners, but that's the only way to describe what it is. This is a hustle. And once they get past that 5-yard neutral zone,
it's lights out. You're either probably going to make a big play for the offense and get a lot of yards, or you're going to get just knocked to the ground pretty darn quickly.
Yeah, and you know what? That's going to separate the men from the boys, right? Unlike in the NFL where they're just a bunch of boys playing. Everybody's got
it's become the gentleman's club almost.
Yep. Now, we also have there will be no extra point kicks. Speaking of,
I'm happy
proposed.
about
These
this
are proposed.
rule.
These are proposed. This rule, for me, this is important. This means that it's going to make a huge difference in the way the game is scored. I mean, what I'm reading here from XFL board, I'll read what they wrote over on XFL board. It says no converts. The extra point kick will be replaced with a scrimmage play. I like that idea. Varying in point value depending on how far the touchdown scoring team chooses to take the snap from the goal line. A 2-yard attempt would score at 1 point. A 5-yard attempt, 2, and a 15-yard, 3. So we could have games possibly being decided by nothing more. And I know this happens in the NFL, but it could be a very common thing where 1 point is the determining factor in a game. Because, you see, and I like the staggering of the points, too. I like the fact that, and they get to decide what extra point that's going to add some excitement to the game, because this could make, okay, let's say we're deep into the fourth quarter and
all right,
you're down by 3. Okay. Now you have it in your mind that on the return you're just gonna plow into the receiver and try to get a fumble and recap that ball, right?
Right.
So you decide, even though you're down by 3, to go for that 2-point convert, because that's going to be a given for your team. You're very good at those 2 points, but you're not so good at the 3. This could be one of those things where it could be a blessing to some teams and a curse to others. And I think that's going to be a very telling thing come 2020. I can't wait to see.
Also, what's great about the 3-point distance is that it really discourages the run. I mean, if you're able to block for 15 yards, all the praise in the world to you, but that's not going to be on every team. So it makes the passing game more prominent. And what I can't wait for, and we'll get into someone's used the 4 lateral rule in some razzle dazzle way to score 3 points to win a game.
Yeah, and that's it's like I said, it's going to be a curse and a blessing in multiple ways. Let's see. We also have the fact that all players behind the line of scrimmage are eligible receivers. That's pretty sweet. Even the linemen will be able to, let's see, it says the offensive lineman would still be prohibited from advancing downfield before a forward pass that crosses the line of scrimmage. As it is in the line of scrimmage is in the air. Okay.
Ooh, okay, that's interesting. In the National Arena League, there's a rule where, because of it's 7-on-7, 8-on-8 ball, one lineman designates himself as a tight end, so you do see the big guys go out for a pass every once in a while. And when they score, when the big guy scores on the field, there is an extra bit of love from the teammates because those are the guys in the trenches putting in a lot of that hard work that doesn't get all the glory. So for them to get rewarded with the score, has to feel real nice, and seeing a team celebrate is fun. So, amplifying that in the XFL, they're not all going to be run down the field right away, but, giving them that chance, it gives the tight end, the lineman who might have better hands than you think, a chance to show their skills.
Very true. Very, very true. Let me go through this list. Let's go up here and we're gonna. The last thing we're going to be talking about is that forward lateral because that's a big deal right there to me. Special teams. You know what? Let's take a quick break here, and then we'll come back and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the special teams changes, and we'll go from there. This is XFL Now, the Alternative Football Network, sponsored by PrimetimeSportsTalk.com. We are history in the making.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me?
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good. With a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update!
All right, I'm going to let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hey, y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hey, welcome back. XFL Now, the Alternative Football News Network, AFNN.net, AFNtalk.com, WON Sports, We are here, and we are talking XFL. Actually, we're talking about the rules and the changes to the game that are coming. Right now, though, let's look at some of the special teams rules. And some of these, I think, may be official. These are some of the things they were trying out in the spring league this year.
All right, so let's see those.
Let's see. We're seeing that fair catches will not be recognized. And then we got the 5-yard rule. We already touched on that. Let's see. Wait a minute. It says that this rule is a carryover from the original XFL and is also used in the CFL. Breaching this space would result in a penalty called no yards in the CFL. We'll see what the XFL calls this rule. I like that. I like the special teams rule and no fair catches.
Me too. We talked about it briefly earlier. Again, you have some fun plays on returns. And if nothing else, you're getting some big hits out of it. And listen, we all love big hits. We all love football. That's why we're watching.
Exactly. Violence. There's going to be a new kickoff formation. This is going to be an interesting thing. Kickoffs will be attempted with teams separated by only 5 yards. We already know this. We've talked about that. Spot the kickoff will be moved back to the kicking team's 15-yard line.
I love this.
And there'll be no it'll all but make touchbacks impossible.
I really like this rule from the XFL because I know how it's like, and it's a kickoff, goes up back to the end zone for touchback. We'll be right back after this break. I hate it. It's a pain in the butt. Because I just saw you score a touchdown, then kick an extra point. Like, I want my action. I don't want lollygagging around. What good is a kick returner if they don't return kicks?
It says in the implausible event, I'm quoting Wikipedia, in the implausible event that a touchback happens, the ball would be taken to the 35-yard line to discourage kickers from kicking the ball that far. Let's see. In the NFL, it's 25, and in college, it's 25 or 20, depending on the situation. In high school, all touchbacks advance to the 20-yard line. I didn't know that. High school football rules, ladies and gentlemen. High school football.
Yeah, that was standard in the NFL a few years back as well.
Very interesting stuff. Oh, teams will be allowed into option for a typical onside kick. Those surprise onside kicks will no longer be possible under the new kickoff rules. In other words, you have to let people know you're going to try it. You're going to attempt an onside.
You know where I've seen this before, and I can't believe I'm quoting this? The Legends Football League. That is the former Lingerie Football League. But the league has no kick. Depending on the season, they couldn't make up their darn minds if they want kickoffs or not. But they made it so you had to declare if you're going for a kickoff or not. And I think, that's a good idea because half the times these unannounced kickoffs end in complete, jokes. I remember I'm a Steelers fan, and we went for this one time against Baltimore, and we tried getting all fancy. Our kicker looked like he's going to kick it with his right foot, then tries to go behind his left foot and kick it, and he falls over himself like an idiot, and the ball moves 2 inches. I don't want that again.
Oh. Eek. Yeah, that don't sound like fun to me.
It's not, especially when it's your team.
Yeah, I will say it couldn't have happened to a better team, though. It couldn't happen to a better team. Just got to say that.
I know you do, but it's still annoying.
And we already touched on the point after. Now, OT, overtime, will be cited by multiple round shootouts for 1-point conversions. All these are going to take place from the 5-yard line rather than the 2. It's similar to a penalty shootout in soccer.
Yeah, I like it. It's also similar to the NHL shootout.
Right.
So for those American,
while the Commanders' defense will be on the other end zone with their offense, so both end zones are going to be in play in a back and forth.
Yeah. It's good because as a fan, I don't want to worry about when I buy my ticket. Now, is this end zone going to get any action if we go to overtime? No, they're both getting the action. We're all going to have some fun here in the XFL.
There we go. It actually is going to make gameplay interesting. I can't wait to see how it's going to be working in the XFL, and we're finding it quite interesting. Your thoughts?
Well, I think if they have a good, like I said, if they have to go for two or go for it instead of kicking a field goal, I think
Interesting. The overtime. By the way, oh wow! If both teams remain tied after overtime, it would be overtime is going to be limited to like 5 or 6 minutes, so it's going to be a quick overtime period.
I like it.
Yeah, and they haven't ruled out a possibility of a tie should the overtime period expire and the tie remains. So that's pretty interesting. We have some clock changes that are going to happen here. And this is one of the ones that we all knew they were going to be, toying with the way the game, with the timings and stuff. They're going to be using a 25-second play clock.
I think that's a good pace.
And they're measuring it from the end of the previous play.
Ooh, nice.
So that's good.
Yeah, big game. Very interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. What else have we got here? Conjunction with this rule, the XFL has proposed pasting a one-way radio on all offensive players' helmets to allow the offensive coordinator to run a no-huddle offense that can call plays. That makes sense.
That's smart.
It does. I don't get why quarterbacks get special privilege in the NFL. I'm the quarterback. I'm special. Yeah.
And instant replay reviews are going to be limited to 30 seconds.
I like this as well. Because some plays, like they get overturned, take forever. I could have gone to the restroom, made myself an omelet, and got my OJ ready by the time they're finished reviewing a play. All the while, Al Michaels is going, well, he looks like he has possession, but then he loses it there. Ow. For a guy who's been covering the game for so long, I think you haven't earned the right for that senior citizenship card for NFL coverage quite yet.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, what's going on in the XFL, and especially with these rule changes and the attempt. Now Vince came out when he announced the launch, and he talked about a quicker, faster-paced game, trying to get the game down to about 2.5 hours, like the AAF did. The AAF did a good job at that.
Yeah, they did. It was a great 8 weeks, man.
Yeah, and those games were more exciting because they were quicker. There wasn't 50 billion commercial breaks. You didn't take a break after every single play. Odell Beckham needs to tie his shoes, so we're going to take a break.
Watch, we're going to a break.
Tom Brady has to go deflate the ball, so we're going to go take a break. Don't have to do that anymore.
Bill Belichick is setting up his video cameras. We're going to take a break.
Yeah. Thank God Jerry Sandusky never made it in.
Oh, geez,
man.
I didn't just say that live on air, did I? I apologize. Nah, I don't apologize. There's so much going on here. But the big thing, let's take a quick break. We come back.
All right.
We're going to be talking about one thing that's got everybody excited about the XFL. Swear to goodness. Cannot wait. We'll be right back.
College of the Siskiyous is magical. We have really amazing students. I have great fellow faculty members.
We have the arts. We've got sports programs, which is really fun. We also have the career and technical programs like nursing, fire, administration of justice. So we've got like the full spectrum of the college experience.
I know that if I had gone to a four-year university before coming to a community college, especially College of the Siskiyous, I wouldn't have received so many opportunities that I have received in such a short amount of time.
Gosh, it's everything that I wish I had when I went to college. Small classes, the kids, the students here are great. Teachers that care about you. I love the one-on-one aspect, so I get a real personal relationship with kids.
They're all experiencing the same thing, and once you're all together, it's very much like a learning experience for everyone, and the lodges are a great place for that because it's just a mixing pot of all athletes, actors, just academics, and just great people.
Working in the classroom, having conversations with students, pushing students to that next level, and challenging them to think beyond what they thought they knew is really good. And I think being in the English program, I have many opportunities to do that and to expose them to different ideas that they probably wouldn't have researched on their own. So that's always exciting.
I would never thought I would be here 35 years and still enjoy my job like I do. And I think the difference is you'll find out that myself, the coaches, and all the faculty all really care about each individual student. And they're going to try their best to make you succeed.
The teachers are very resourceful, and if you need more help and if you don't understand, they are more than happy to have you come during the office hours and help you, so they really met my expectations.
I think the diversity here at the college is very beneficial, especially for people who want to see the world in several different perspectives, and that's what I've definitely encountered that while being here at COS.
In some ways, the students that weren't aware that they had something in them that needed to be expressed, they suddenly realized something about themselves, right? It unlocks.
College of the Siskiyous and this whole surrounding area has some of the best views that I've ever seen. It's like every corner that you turn, it's a different world.
We are in this magical, beautiful place where there is really a sense of community. We care about one another. And I think everybody here knows that.
We are back here.
All right.
On XFL Now, the Alternative Football News Network, sponsored by PrimetimeSportsTalk.com, WON Sports, of course. And we're going to wrap this show up, but we're going to do it on a big note here. RJ, we got some allowing of a certain pass that in the NFL will cause a penalty. The forward lateral. What do you think? Do you think that making forward laterals legal is going to benefit the league overall, or how do you think this is going to affect play?
Well, I first want to clarify that this is not going to be like the holy roller where you can just pitch the ball forward and hope someone falls on it and kicks it forward. The forward lateral has to happen behind the line of scrimmage, so this isn't going to turn into rugby all of a sudden. So one of my vivid memories in my first year as a football fan, Super Bowl 40, Ford Field, Detroit, Michigan. Ben takes a snap, hands off to Willie Parker. He runs to one side of the field, hands off to Antoine Randall, who runs across the other, throwing on the run to Hines Ward, a gadget play to perfection. That was something I loved. Ken Whisenhunt loved doing that. Now imagine seeing more trickery, more gadget plays, more creative designs for plays in the XFL. If that was an amazing moment from my childhood, we're going to be blessed in the XFL seeing this so many times and just seeing so many creative ideas. Because how many times have we been like in the backyard with our friends wanting to try something really stupid fun out, but there's that one friend who's like, no, but I can't let you do that. That's against the rule. You know, Tim, you're taking all the fun out of it. Guess what? Tim's not there anymore.
Good point. Good point. Leon, you are a football player, and I want to find out, what do you think about the fact that in the XFL a forward lateral is an allowed concept? It's not something that you're going to get penalized for.
Well, I believe that it will open up the doors for gadget plays, and I know for a fact, Coach June down in Houston, and I know he has a lot of trickery under his sleeve. And I think that'll open up the doors for the evolutioning of plays. That's what I think, and I think that it'll make the gameplay expeditiously. It'll make it go by fast. You know, that's what I think.
Now, RJ, how does this compare to what happens with inside the Arena League?
So there's nothing quite like this in the Arena Leagues. You know, like other forms of NFL, a backwards or lateral pass behind the line of scrimmage that is caught can be thrown forward. You don't see this typically as much in the arena game because the field dimensions are smaller. You see a lot of it at younger football levels. You might see some trickery at the Pee-wee level, sometimes the high school level. Occasionally get a Statue of Liberty play in the NCAA or NFL, but you don't see stuff like this very often. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. I do think it's going to take some getting used to the first few weeks, so I think you might see a couple interceptions thrown by off these. Because what you can't do, no matter what position you are, is telegraph a pass, and for non-quarterbacks, that might be a little more difficult. So we'll see how that goes. But at the same time, it's also going to make fantasy super fun. I don't think we've gotten into that part yet. How awesome would it be? You're trailing by 7 fantasy. You have, I don't know who they're having as a receiver. Let's say they got Fabian Guerrera, for instance. I'm using Fabian Guerrera as an example. Guerrera, gets a ball thrown his way behind the line of scrimmage. He looks, he fires for a touchdown. Not only is that an amazing play, you just score fantasy points in a way that the NFL will almost never see.
Okay. Some thoughts from others. Michael chimed in today with his thoughts. He said the no fair catch and sit halo rule to kickoffs is a mirror to the CFL. Continuous clock outside the 2-minute warning is a mirror to the Arena Leagues. Multiple guys moving behind the line of scrimmage, which the XFL used the first time, mirrors Arena and CFL. And he also states that this has not been confirmed yet. He says that getting rid of the illegal touching rule if a lineman catches a pass behind the line of scrimmage is unique to the XFL. And multiple forward passes behind the line is also a unique concept to the XFL. Bryce chimed in. Bryce says that the multiple forward passes behind the line of scrimmage is awesome. It establishes a clear-cut backfield that allows so many opportunities to work yourself a hole, but also work east-west for plays unlike ever before. So, I mean, like I said, this forward lateral situation is something that has really, really made it, it changes game completely.
Oh, it does. It opens up a whole other dimension. Like Bryce said, it's now east to west. Because before you either had to play the lateral game, which is so easy to intercept, or you just had to be really fast and run side to side and run backwards, basically, which almost never ends well unless you're Michael Vick. Or Randall Cunningham. One of the two.
All right, I shall hold my comment on Michael Vick.
Yeah, I think you hit your quota for the night.
Now, overall, with what we know at this juncture in time, do these changes have you excited to see a different type of football being played? Perhaps a type of football. It really sounds like that the XFL has gone outside of traditional football to find things that they can incorporate into their style of football that, you know, mirror Canadian football, maybe mirror Arena League football. They're looking at other organizations to help them come up with concepts and ideals that they feel make the game more interesting and more playable. And it doesn't surprise me much that Vince is looking toward, or the XFL is looking toward, the Canadian Football League, since Vince was trying to buy that league years ago.
Yeah, he was, before he started the original XFL, he wanted to buy out the entire CFL. That's where the whole desire stemmed from. I think he wanted an NFL team. They said no. He's like, fine, I'm buying the CFL, and they vetoed him there. So
I think what he's done, I think he's trying to wrap his love of football, or bring things that he loves about alternative football, because looking at the fact that they're looking at the Arena League and how they do different things shows me that they're interested in more than just one style of football. They're not trying to emulate the XFL or the NFL in any way, shape, or form. They're trying to set themselves apart and be something totally unique and different. Something that perhaps American viewers haven't seen before with some of the... You know, because although we talk about Canadian football, we don't all know everything there is to know about Canadian football. Although we talk about arena football, not everybody out there is a fan. Although we talk about indoor football, not everybody is a fan. So perhaps what happens is the XFL exposes us to some of these changes, and they let us know that this is a concept that they brought in from Canadian or from the arenas, and they begin to expose mainstream viewers, people who are going to, people who would not normally turn into those leagues, to where maybe they start seeing some momentum. I think the XFL launch is going to create momentum for all alternative football organizations and gameplay, the arena, the indoor, the CFL. Everything's going to see a rise in viewership because of the XFL. And I think it's going to bring guys that maybe they're not going to make the cut for the XFL. Then maybe they'll start looking at the arena leagues, and we'll start getting some fresh talent there where they can go in and hone their skills in that league and show how good they are.
Oh, definitely, because, this is kind of like, if you've ever listened to a Spotify-generated playlist, you start with one artist, then you go to the featured artist, then you go to the features feature, and, by the time, 2 hours later, you're like, I've never heard of this artist. That's kind of what it's like for the football leagues here. You're going to start getting references and things from one league, you're going to look into it, find another league, etc., etc., etc. And I think that's very good for the sport as a whole, because there are a lot of leagues out there. I mean, there has to be hundreds, if not thousands, in the U.S. alone. And every one of them has their own little quirk. So seeing those out there is going to be nice.
Very true. Very, very true. Leon, your thoughts on that?
Yep.
The fact that the XFL bringing in gameplay mechanics and rule mechanics from things like Canadian Football League, from the NAL, the AFL, the IFL, the CIF, from the indoor, the arena leagues, bringing some of that into the game. Do you think that's going to cause everyday fans who, they see that 25-second clock and that's, well, I like that. It's quick, it's rapid, and that's the way they do arena stuff, 25 seconds at a time? Yeah, I like that. I like that concept. Do you think that's going to bring people to reach out and try to find more Canadian football, more arena-style football? Look in their own market for their arena teams and their indoor teams and their alternative leagues that are out there.
Well, I think that it would, it'll spark more interest into those leagues. And as far as for the indoor, and I played indoor and a little bit of arena, but it's the same thing. Well, you got the double motions and all of that, all of those good, rare play calls. It'll spark interest. I know that, and it'll make people look deep off into it, because those levels of football really don't get a lot of exposure, as per se. A lot of people really don't pay attention to it. But now that they have these explosive plays and these forward laterals and everything else like that, I think that will evolve the game, and it'll make people gain a lot of interest in it. And I think that it'll build up a fanship of the XFL. And I think that as far as for the evolving of it, you're gonna be on a bigger field. You're not gonna be in a hockey rink style field like indoor is gonna be on a regular size football field. So it's gonna be it'll really draw a lot of interest to the game with the way those plays are designed. And I think that'll probably get people more interested in it. Probably have the inquisitive person that really doesn't know much about football get into football.
I understand that, man. Well, RJ, before we go here, one more question for you. The XFL launches February 2020, and I know that some of the indoor leagues begin similar time frame, correct?
That is correct.
Do you think that you're a hardcore arena fan? And is this going to affect you? Are you going to pick an XFL game over an arena game?
I mean, I'm going to support indoor ball one way or another. The thing is, the amount of XFL games to indoor games, the XFL is fewer. So if there's an XFL game going on, I might give that priority simply because there are fewer of them. At the peak of indoor season, you have 4 or 5 leagues overlapping. You get up to 10 games a weekend. In the XFL, you'll get 4.
Okay. So, basically, you will be...
I'll watch what's on. My weekends are occupied, people.
Football.
Yep.
Leon, same question to you. Is this going to affect your watching of other alternative football leagues because of... well, the fact that it's the XFL.
Right. And it's on Saturdays. XFL's on Saturdays, and, majority of your indoor games are on Fridays and Saturdays. So, I mean, I say this, DVR it, but I think...
then stay off social media for a few hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I think that it wouldn't cause too much of a conflict. But, like I said, they have DVR, so, I don't want to sound harsh or screwed about it, but, I think that since this is a new league, a lot of people are really going to be emphasizing on that league. They're going to be anticipating it because it's something new. So, I think a lot of people are going to be going towards the new propaganda and see what all the hype is all about. And like your man said here, stay off social media for flowers, But I think just DVR it. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of social media, Leon, how can listeners get a hold of you on social media?
Oh, Leon Brooks at Facebook, Nola Lee on Instagram, Nola Lee 84 on Instagram. I'm all ears on that. Any questions, concerns? Because I was trying out for the XFL, and I was a hopeful. I'm a hopeful still, and I'm anticipating the draft and everything, and anticipating on that. So you can get in touch with me on Facebook and Instagram.
RJ?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at RJ_Ciancio. Ciancio spelled C-I-A-N as in Nancy, C-I-O. You can find me on Twitter at CiancioRJ and on Facebook at RJ Ciancio. My messages are always open if you want to talk football, if you want to talk life. Warning, I may overanalyze things sometimes if we go that route, so that's at your own discretion. But yeah, contact me. Let's talk.
And you can find me at AFN Talk all over social media. Instagram, I think we have that. I don't know what you do with it, but yeah, and I know we have Twitter, that thing, and we have a Facebook page and a group. You might want to join the group. Don't forget to visit the website if you're not there already, afntalk.com. I am Harry the Boobs Bob. This is the Alternative Football News Network, XFL Now. We'll see you on the other side of the end zone.
You've been listening to XFL Now, which has been a production of the Alternative Football News Network and WON Sports. The executive producers for XFL Now are Harry M. Bob III, Nicholas Anthony, and Jonathan Rios. Find the XFL Now on social media at XFL Now Radio. Like the Facebook page, XFL Now Radio. Follow us on Twitter. Stay up to date with the best in professional semi-pro, indoor, and arena football talk, and listen in sightly for new and original alternative football talk at afnn.net.
You're listening to the WON Radio Network.